And we are live, everybody. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, Thursday, December 18th. We got a big one on our hands for today. 11 games on the DraftKings main slate. I don't know if FanDuel included the final game, but we do have 12 total, Sacramento and Portland, bringing up the rear. So hit the like button right now if you can. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter. We got a lot, man. For the first time in what feels like ages, we have a massive slate. Now, I am not going to try and give massive takeaways for these individual spots. That's not going to get us anywhere. We're going to walk through each game. We're going to set the table. We're going to highlight the things that definitely look good. And then we need to remember what a day like today is. On an 11-game slate, you're kind of just playing the dudes you expect to play a ton, or somebody that you think might get a dramatic increase in minutes. This is not a day for your 20-minute-a-game seventh man. It's just not going to be that kind of day. But we have a lot of news to wait on. A lot of it. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this because we got a lot to talk about. Do I even sleep? Not a lot. Not a lot. I was up late prepping this slate, and I was up early prepping this slate. So let's start by just going through all of these games. I'm not really super concerned with it from a fantasy perspective to get this started. First game up on the docket, Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets. This game is in Charlotte. Atlanta is on the front end of a back-to-back. Atlanta is a 5.5-point favorite. And there we go. Perfect. Trae Young is questionable. Now, we obviously have not seen Trae Young for a while. That impacts everything for Atlanta, whether or not he is in or out. If he's out, then it's just sort of business as usual, and these guys are probably priced exactly where they should be. If Trae Young is in, you have to assume that most of this looks awful for obvious reasons. Trae Young hasn't played in ages. All of these guys are inflated. Jalen Johnson in particular for having Trae Young off the floor. So we need this piece of news. If he's in, I assume he starts. I assume Nickeil Alexander-Walker goes to the bench. That's wild, but makes sense. Your mileage may vary on whether or not Nickeil Alexander-Walker should start over Dyson Daniels, but that's neither here nor there for right now. Or I guess over Zachary Reese-Shea, but your mileage may vary. But we need the Trae news. It's impossible to make any takeaways from Atlanta right now without it, other than I assume you're just not playing them. The only benefit here is the matchup against Charlotte. But if we get Trae, I just don't think we're going here. I don't know how we could. Now, Charlotte also has their potentially traded point guard be questionable for today. LaMelo Ball is questionable. LaMelo has missed the last 3 and change. Assuming he plays, it's Ball, Knipple, Miller, Bridges, Kalkbrenner. Like, we're pretty used to that at this point. No Colin Sexton today. Still no Trey Mann. Still no Pat Connaughton. But obviously, whether or not LaMelo Ball plays has a big effect on the rest of Charlotte. With no LaMelo, you get a lot more volume to guys like Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges. If LaMelo's there, it muddies the waters. So, let me open up a new tab here. So if we want to just talk about this game very generically, Atlanta and Charlotte. At the moment, 10K Jalen Johnson is a little interesting to me. After that, it all comes down to whether or not LaMelo plays. Because there's not anything that's like super awesome here. Think about what this slate is today. Here's how like perfect you need to be. Now, you never need to be perfect in the NBA. Like the optimal score today, the true optimal, will be like 30 points higher than whatever wins a contest. I have Brandon Miller projected for 37 fantasy points. He needs 50. So, like, whatever you think you need to do today, you need it even more. Realistically, because of the matchup, Jalen Johnson, even with Trae Young in, would be the guy I'd go to. I don't even know how important that is. He's on the door of the top 10. Jalen Johnson is 14th for me right now. I assume that goes by the wayside at some point. Let's go to game number 2. This one, impossible to talk about right now. New York Knicks, front end of a back-to-back, at Indy today, at home against the Sixers tomorrow. Knicks are 4.5-point favorites, and I'm just going to stop right here. I'm not going to even go any further after I say what I say. Josh Hart questionable, OG Anunoby questionable, Karl Anthony Towns questionable, Mitchell Robinson questionable. I have no idea who's going to play today and who's not. None. No clue. We are in a position where the Knicks might be the overwhelming value, depending on how this breaks, or they're just the Knicks if they're all in. But I don't have a clue. That's too many dudes. That's over 100 minutes in the starting lineup plus Mitchell Robinson. So, Hart, Anunoby, Towns, Mitchell Robinson, all questionable. If we don't get that news, nothing matters. So, once we get that, we'll know what's happening. Otherwise, it's too many different, like, if it's this guy, then it's that. If it's these two, then it's out. I don't know what's happening here. Like, realistically, Towns is the most important thing here for value. If Towns is out, we're creating something. If Towns is in, it gets a little scary. For the Pacers, these guys are actually pretty normal. Still no Nesmith, still no Ben Shepherd. Obviously, Obi Toppin and Tyrese Halliburton are not going to be around. Nembhard, Ethan Thompson, Benedict Mathurin, Siakam, Jay Huff. We're used to this at this point. So, if we talk about it from a slate's perspective, there's not, like, the Knicks side is a mess. We're not going to even hazard a guess of what we're doing here. I will say $8,600 Jalen Brunson in this matchup looks pretty good to me. Obviously very familiar with playing the Pacers, and this isn't exactly the Pacers. After that, it completely depends on who's available. If we look at Indy, nothing really popping from their optimal rate. The highest ranked guy I have from the Pacers is Jay Huff at 6% optimal. That's the 48th highest optimal rate. What that tells you right there is it's not that, like, Indy is unplayable. It's just that if you're playing someone, no one else is going to have them. Game 3. Miami and Brooklyn. Miami Heat, front end of a back-to-back. They've got the Celtics tomorrow. They're 6.5-point favorites at Brooklyn today. Miami has no Tyler Hero, no Pell Larson, no Nikola Jovic. Norm Powell is questionable. So lots of weird stuff going on here. If Norm Powell is out, we are going to get some value from the Miami Heat. As of right now, Davion Mitchell, Norm Powell, Simone Fontecchio, Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo, your projected starters for the Miami Heat. But that news looms large. This Miami team is starting to get a little shorthanded. For Brooklyn, they are not on a back-to-back. So this is just normal stuff. Ben Suraf is out. Nolan Traore is out. That's all the relevant stuff for their rotation. We're expecting the Igor, Demon, Mann, Porter, Clowney, Claxton. It's actually a pretty normal Nets team today. And obviously, the Nets get to face the Miami Heat. Very fast-paced team. But I've got two Miami Heat players in my top 6 right now, including Davion Mitchell at 3. Now, the first thing that I want to say here for Davion Mitchell is that I don't anticipate this holding unless Norm Powell ends up out. We have basically no real value right now outside of Jackson Hayes, which we'll get to. So this mid-tier 5K range, Mitchell, Cam Johnson, Anthony Black, we'll see some others as we go. That's sort of where the value exists, and that's why Davion Mitchell is ranked as high as he is. Norm Powell, on the other hand, if he's in, I just like at that price tag and matchup. 7K, guard forward eligibility, great flexibility. Happy to see two Miami dudes make my top 10. Very much in flux because of Norm Powell. I think Fontecchio, Bam, and Jaquez are all more than viable today, just not any sort of priority. And then for Brooklyn, you want to play Clax, go for it. You want to play Clowney or MPJ, sure. You know, like someone like Zaire Williams in 22 minutes looks like a value right now. My expectation is that goes away by the time we get to lock. Jaquez, if Powell is out, yeah, I mean, he'll look infinitely better. I've got him 5th right now of the guys that are getting like real optimal rates. And that'll go up by, you know, a few points. Let us continue on our merry way of at least setting the table for every one of these games. Buckle up for this one, guys. The LA Clippers are at the Oklahoma City Thunder today. They are 17.5-point underdogs. And the total is 220, which is tied for the lowest total on the slate. James Harden is out. Obviously, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, Derek Jones out. But no Harden. This is not something we've really had so far for this team. And that's why they're 17.5-point dogs, because their current projected starting lineup is Chris Dunn, Kobe Sanders, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Ivica Zubac. This one's bad, guys. 220 total, 17.5-point dogs. I projected this game at 122-104. When OKC wins, you probably expect the Clippers to have less than 100 points. The wild thing here is OKC is missing dudes. Hartenstein is out. Jalen Williams with a Y is out. Like, they've got some movement and some guys to play. It just doesn't matter. 17.5-point favorites, missing 2 rotation pieces today, including like a legit starter. And they're still massive just from Harden. I mean, it would have been massive either way. I don't know what to do with this game. The Clippers side, we should address. I think a $3,300 Kobe Sanders, I don't want to say stands out because that's not the right way to describe it, but 3,300, small forward only. We don't really have any value. The Clippers are shorthanded. He could certainly play more minutes, whether it's close or a blowout. So I get it. Zubats is always going to look interesting because if there's any way the Clippers stay in this game, it will be hard for me to believe that it happened with Ivica Zubats having like a pedestrian game. So I think that's reasonable. I don't have a ton of interest in rolling the dice on like John Collins or Kawhi or Chris Dunn or Kobe Brown here. But there's probably a little bit more value than we normally have just because of the Harden situation. I just don't trust it. I just don't see the appeal. And then for OKC, I don't know how you do that either. Like, I certainly don't know how you go to Shea. It just does not feel like he's going to play today in a large manner. 8K J-Dub, small forward. I'm interested. $7,500 power forward Chet. I'm interested. I'm not interested in anything else, though. The total of this game is too low. It's mostly an ignore, but the J-Dub Chet prices and positions, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Next up, another tough one. Wizards at the Spurs. The Wizards are 14.5-point dogs in San Antonio. Alex Sarr is back. Bilal Coulibaly is back. Probably means we're not doing anything with this Wizards team. Now, Chris Middleton, Corey Kispert, both out, obviously. But Coulibaly back in affects everybody. Sarr back in affects everybody. No Q tags here. They're just back. And that should complicate matters for two reasons. One, salaries are inflated. And two, they still stink. They still stink. For San Antonio, nothing doing. Clean injury report. Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes, Cornette, probably. Could be Wemby. At some point in time, it'll be Wemby. We just don't know. Dylan Harper, Champagnie, Keldon Johnson. That's just what they're going to do. We know this San Antonio rotation at this point. So, as we look at Washington or San Antonio, I will note on the first page, they don't exist. They don't exist on the second page. They don't exist on the third page. Dylan Harper at 38. It's the highest ranked guy that I have right now in a San Antonio and Washington matchup. There's nothing here. Like, now that Wemby's back and slowly playing more minutes, it's like a mild negative for everybody else for San Antonio. They're still finding their way. I do like Dylan Harper a lot. He's someone that I think just plays more as the season goes on. He's got an MPE. He looked great in the Cup final. I think a $4,400 Luke Cornette against the Wizards is still pretty damn tasty. This is some of the better value we're going to see right now. Now, that might change as we go through the day, but I quite like a $4,400 Luke Cornette today, especially if he maintains that starting spot. Julian Champagnie's fine. CJ McCollum's fine. Vassell is fine. Fox is fine. I'd probably stop there. Castle, fine. Do I think Wemby starts? I don't know. It don't matter. Like, maybe. If he doesn't start today, he probably starts in their next one. But like, yeah, I don't. Like, it's not like I don't think he's like 30 minutes today either way. So, I don't know. Also, well, okay, let's actually have this piece of a conversation. Realistically, Wemby might not play tomorrow. He's probably not playing the back-to-back. I would not be surprised if he doesn't play today. I hadn't thought about it till right now, but I don't think we should be surprised if Victor Wembanyama is on the injury report today when it comes out at 1:30 or 2:30. They play Atlanta tomorrow in Atlanta. I think it's conceivable he sits today and plays tomorrow. I'd be shocked if he's playing them both. And I don't know why you would play him against the Wizards if you could play him against the Hawks. Unless something else is going on. But, like, don't be surprised to see the Spurs. Ooh, yeah, Brandon, that's a good point. He might play today and then get out of town, because that'll buy him some time. If he's going to do anything with that, then he'd play today and, he probably leaves for the weekend. That's a really good point. That's a good shout. He looked like shit in that cup final. So anyway, that's where we're at. Pay attention to the Spurs injury report when it comes out later today. And you guys know what to do with the Wizards. All right, hit the like button. We're about 20 minutes in. We're making good progress. Toronto Raptors at the Milwaukee Bucks. By all accounts, Toronto's going to be normal. They just still don't have RJ Barrett. He's been out forever. Quickly, Agbaji, Ingram, Barnes, Jake Puddle. Same old story that we've been getting for Toronto as of late. Raptors are 5.5-point favorites in Milwaukee. 220 total. That is tied with the Clippers for the lowest total. For the Bucks, AJ Green is questionable. Kyle Kuzma is questionable. Cole Anthony is questionable. We're missing the Antetokounmpos and Taurean Prince. Clearly, these Q tags matter. AJ Green's missed the last 3. That will affect the Gary Harris, Gary Trents of the world. We'll see where that goes. Obviously, the Kuzma news matters. A lot of moving parts here. That's all I can say. Like, if all 3 of those Q tags are out, then yeah, we're going to find something here. If they're all in, then it's a pretty shitty Bucks team. So we'll be waiting on that news. If we look at Milwaukee and Toronto, the place you're going is Toronto, and the best option from Toronto, as Stephen Leibowitz has just pointed out, it's Jakob Poeltl. Center eligible, 5,300. The most optimal person for me here by far in this game. Minutes all over the place, but as Stephen mentioned, 29 in the last 2 games. 5,300 right now seems underpriced. It's a great matchup. He's the exact same price as Miles Turner. So that's a dynamic for you guys to entertain on both sides of the coin here. I clearly prefer Jakob Poeltl. I think Quickly looks very reasonable at 7,100. No problem at all getting to Scotty Barnes for today. We don't have a ton of value right now, so guys like Mamu are on the table because of power forward eligibility. Ingram's fine. KPJ is fine. None of these guys are standing out. This is not a great game environment. We have games with 240 totals. It's tough to get to the one with the 220 total when, like, pretty much everybody's in. We continue on. Houston Rockets, 9.5-point favorites in New Orleans, 234 total. Gotta be honest, kind of like the Rockets a little bit more than what that line says. Something I'll dig into later. Tari Eason, questionable once again. He was questionable last time out, didn't make it. I'm guessing he plays today or is at least getting close to it. No back-to-back for the Rockets, but they do indeed have the Denver Nuggets once again this Saturday. Can't wait to watch that one. Watch Nuggets Rockets. Watch Jake Paul knock out Anthony Joshua. It's going to be a great Saturday. So business as usual for the Rockets right now. If Eason's back, it's not like he's going to get a ton of run. Keep an eye on it. Pelicans side. Everybody's healthy. And these guys blow. Assuming we still get Fears, Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion, Derek Queen. Poole, Bay, Alvarado as the main bench guys. Like, obviously, great Rockets defense. Pelicans, I guess, they got some offense. But this is not a great game to me. However, I love Houston. Look at my top 10 for just this game. It's all green, or it's all red. The highest optimal for anybody on the Pels is 2%. No, it's not Jake Paul's first real fight. Wait, the fight's Friday? I don't know. I don't actually care. Anthony Joshua is going to fucking put him in the shadow realm. Only reason I'm turning that on is I want to see if someone dies in a ring because Anthony Joshua is going to detonate on that dude's head. Big ups to Jake, though. He's going to get knocked the hell out. Like, it's hard to talk smack about somebody that's willing to get in there and get hit by Anthony Joshua. Like, eventually everybody just needs to shut up. But he is going to get... it's going to feel like he got hit with Thor's hammer. Logan took the better path. Yeah, Jake needs to stop this right now and just go to WWE and let those idiots fight the Usos for like 5 years for millions of dollars a year. There's definitely a path there. He'll cash that in eventually. Is it really tomorrow? Why the fuck are they fighting on a Friday? Yeah. Friday. Huh. Yo, even better, because now I'll be way more likely to watch it. Yeah, there's no way Jake Paul's getting $50 million for this. That's insane. No shot. No shot. It should come as no surprise that I love Alperen Şengün. Power forward center, 9,600. Faces a Pelicans team that doesn't have a prayer of stopping him. Queen can't do it. Zion can't do it. Even Messi can't do it. I don't mind Jabari Smith, but I assume that this is just a function of what today looks like, and he'll just be a guy. $8,300 Amin Thompson against the Pels. I think he's going to thrive in this matchup because no one's stopping him. He's going to be able to get downhill. There's no rim protection to speak of. I love this spot for Amin Thompson. It's not that KD doesn't look good, but boy, oh boy, does this feel like a game he should sleepwalk through. So, whether it's Şengün, Jabari, Amin Thompson, KD, I'm in for all of those guys. I would say that Jabari is my lowest in this group, but I love Şengün and I love Amin Thompson today. Need that to be known. Let me see if we're seeing this correctly. Oh, yeah, damn it. Totally forgot. Has that happened yet? Oh, all right. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So let's get to the next one. So at this point, we still have 4 more games to go on the DraftKings slate. Hit the like button. It's not fixed. Jake will not win. This is free money if you bet on Anthony Joshua. Truly. Free money. I will be putting sizable amounts of money on Anthony Joshua in certain scenarios. It's free money. Pistons, Mavs. Pistons, 5.5-point favorites in Dallas, 230 total. Nothing interesting for the Pistons. Same rotation we've been getting. We know what these guys are doing now. So, nothing to add for the Pistons. Business as usual. Yeah, swish. You're absolutely correct. You can't fix a fight on Netflix when, however many million people are going to watch it and however many, $100 million is going to get bet on it. Oh, I'm taking him to knock him out, Supavish. He's going to put him to sleep. I mean, it's not even... I have little doubt. Yeah, you could easily fix a fight. That's great logic. That's what everybody wants to do. Broadcast their fraud on Netflix. That's real smart. Real smart. That's what they'll do. They'll all go to jail because they live streamed their fraud on Netflix. Well, the Mavs are the Mavs today. Anthony Davis, questionable. Brandon Williams, questionable. D'Angelo Russell, questionable. We obviously don't know what we're doing with the Mavs. Like, if AD sits, we just had this experience. We got 24 minutes out of Dwight Powell. We might go that way again. What if Brandon Williams is out again, but Russell is back? Could he be interesting? I don't know. There's too many moving parts here for Dallas. Hopefully we get a little bit of this news later today. If not, we'll try to address it on Live Before Lock later tonight. Speaking of, let's see. Schedule for the rest of today. NFL Strategy Show, 10 a.m., Laffy and Spags. NHL Strategy Show, 1:30 p.m. I will be back at 6 p.m. for NBA Live Before Lock because we have football today, Thursday night football. So we'll have Live Before Lock at 7:15. I don't judge fights based on knockouts. I'm not a moron. I mean, the fight will be terrible if neither one of those guys get a knockout, because not like that, that's going to set up for entertainment. But that's not how I look at boxing fights. It's boxing. The people that think this stuff is fixed really just have this simplest of minds. $1 billion industry. They're not happening at like the local YMCA. All right. Later on, brother. Adios. You're fucking annoying. Regional manager Michael Scott. You just got transferred, brother. Adios. Tristan da Silva is questionable for today in a matchup with the Denver Nuggets. The Orlando Magic are 7.5-point favorites. Sorry, dogs in Denver, obviously. 236 total. No Jalen Suggs. No Franz Wagner, obviously. And De Silva is questionable. We might actually get some value here if Tristan De Silva ends up out because they're just going to have to play some of these dudes more. Looks like we'll get a starting lineup of Anthony Black, Desmond Bane, De Silva, Paolo, Wendell Carter Jr. But the De Silva news will matter quite a bit. And then on the Denver side, Q-tag Peyton Watson. He had to leave after 6 minutes last time out. Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable as well. He played 40 last time out. I bet an over 20 points for Cam Johnson, and this dickhead couldn't do it in 43 minutes. Brutal. 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 But yeah, those Q tags very obviously matter. If Peyton Watson is out, Spencer Jones is probably playing like 35 minutes tonight. If they're both out, we're going to get a ton of minutes out of Hunter Tyson, maybe. Jalen Pickett. I don't know. Bruce Brown probably gets up around 30. Zeke Naji probably plays close to 20. Lots in flux. Lots in flux. Yeah, Steven, if only. You'll note Cam Johnson sitting here in the number 4 spot for me. We'll highlight that in a sec. Look, 1, minutes are up. Playing like 35 minutes a night. Might be bigger. Shooting guard eligible at that price tag? Okay. Short-handed Orlando? Okay. I like the price, the fit, the playing time. I think Cam Johnson's a great spot. Thanks for letting us know you're leaving, Fistula. We were all worried if you would tell us or not. There is nothing more peak tiny pink than telling people you're leaving chat. There's nothing lamer and dumber than that. Be proud of yourself. Congrats on that one. I'd be so sad if I had to announce I was leaving as if anybody knew you were here in the first place. The only person that has to announce they're leaving is me. So silly. 5,900. Point guard, shooting guard eligible. Anthony Black. For me, the best option you're going to get to from Orlando. No Suggs around, no Franz around. He's just going to play massive minutes. He's been great so far this season. He's got the MPE. What else could you possibly want? Without a doubt, Anthony Black will just look pretty damn good all day. Paolo Banchero is 8,600, and by all accounts, there is no minutes limit here anymore. He looks awesome. I would love to pay up for Paolo in this spot. Especially one against a short-handed Denver team, potentially. And 2, just simple fact, like, Paolo Banchero is not going to be $8,600 in a week. He's just going to be in the 9Ks. Get him now. What do I think happened to the Tank versus Jake fight? No idea. Tank stupidity, Jake stupidity, money. It was never going to happen, and they wanted it to be Anthony Joshua the whole time. Like, there's no telling. I don't generally care either. I'm glad it changed. I'd much rather see the Anthony Joshua fight. But yeah, I have no idea. How do you guys want to handle Jokic today? 12,800 center only. Can we get to him? Is he even a better play than Wendell Carter Jr.? Like, that's a real question relative to salary. Like at center tonight, we've got Jokic at 12-8. We've got Wemby at 10-8. We're obviously not doing that. Alper and Şengün at 9,600. Like, I definitely prefer Şengün to Jokic, just relative to pricing. We don't know about Towns. I don't really want Alex Sarr in his first game back against Wemby. Bam looks good. Zubats looks good. Okongwu does not. Duran, Queen, like it falls off pretty quick at center. I expect to have a lot of Nikola Jokic and Alperen Şengün. And I would not be surprised to have a bunch of Bam. But again, lots of Q tags in this one. Warriors Suns. Golden State Warriors, 2.5 point favorites in Phoenix, 230 total. No Al Horford for Golden State. And it seems like, based on Steve Kerr's comments, which I might add are meaningless words coming out of the mouth of Steve Kerr, but it seems like we have a rotation for now. Curry, Moody, Butler, Draymond, Quentin Post. We expect Pods, Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, Trace Jackson Davis, maybe one of Gary Payton or Guy Santos. No Q tags or anything landing out here, just weird Warriors bullshit. For the Suns, still no Jalen Green. Isaiah Livers is questionable. Grayson Allen is questionable. That will actually impact some value at the bottom side of the Suns. But realistically, we're looking at Gillespie. Devin Booker is back. He played 31 minutes last time out. I assume he's just going to be normal. Brooks, Mark Williams. We know what they're doing here. If Grayson Allen doesn't play, I assume Royce O'Neal just steps into the starting lineup. So then, when do we see the first Warrior? Let's find out. Or Sun, I guess. Nobody on the first page. Nobody on the second page. Devin Booker is the first guy to pop up in this game. Not surprised. You mean to tell me Tim Donaghy was got convicted of fixing games? When could that have possibly been? That must have been really recent. That happened like before Twitter. Where do we draw the line? I don't even think we had smartphones at that point. Like, doesn't even count. I like Devin Booker quite a bit here. 8,700 with some point guard, shooting guard eligibility. It's not bad. It's not bad to me. I like the spot. After that, it's tough. Like, I love Steph Curry. I don't really want to drop 9,400 on him today. I like the flexibility you're getting out of some of these MPEs. Your Booker, your Draymond, your Colin Gillespie. But like, I don't want Mark Williams. I don't want Quentin Post. You know, Dylan Brooks at 6,200 with his mindset's probably a little interesting. He probably takes matchups against like Steph and Jimmy Butler pretty personally. Probably a little bit sneakier. I will say that anybody who thinks things are fixed are dumb. I do believe that. Yes, that is a true statement. People really confuse things being fixed with individual players being whatever they are. You're telling me that like a Latin American baseball player is going to take a bag on throwing a ball on his first pitch? Yeah, I believe that can happen. That's not fixed. They're not fixing outcomes of sporting events that are on billion-dollar TV deals. That would be insane. You guys ready to talk about the best thing of the day? We saved the best for last. The Los Angeles Lakers are 6.5-point favorites in Utah with a 243 total. This is your late night hammer. Yeah, same situation there. Individual people can be compromised. That's not the same as fixed. Why is it only 6.5? Because no Austin Reeves, no DeAndre Ayton. I would like to have a normal conversation. So, G-Money, I'll see you when this show's over. Adios. Don't have the energy for this stupidity this morning. So, no Reeves, no Ayton, and potentially no Gabe Vincent, who is also questionable. And this, my friends, is opening us up to a massive Luka Doncic experience. Marcus Smart likely getting the start. LeBron, Rui, Jackson Hayes day, everybody. Get excited. For Utah, Q-Tag, Lauri Markkanen. Otherwise, everybody's available. Now, I don't have a damn clue what these guys are doing in their rotation right now. So that's a little bit up in the air. But what I can say, very simply, is this. We're getting to Luka Doncic tonight. Number one play of the day, followed up only by his teammate Jackson Hayes. 12K Luka, point guard eligible in Utah with no Austin Reeves. I probably don't have to explain to you guys how good this looks, but it's pretty obvious. 24% optimal for me. The number one play of the day. It is not close. Get yourself some Luka Doncic. Similarly, Jackson Hayes, 3,500, center only. He is your best value play for right now. The top two plays for today, and I think it's pretty clear that this is true, are Luka Doncic and Jackson Hayes. Anthony, again, same story. Can you get an individual? Yes. That's not the same as fixed. Fixed implies it comes from the governing body. All it takes is one referee's wife to have cancer and he wants $100,000 and yes, that stuff can happen. Those are two different conversations. Individuals can get put into corners and think they have no choices. Fixed implies you sit down and have a conversation about it in the league office. I also want to add that 9K LeBron. Hey, Zumet, here's the interesting part. It's not important to me at all why people care what I do in the chat. You're welcome to start up your own NBA DFS stream and police your chat as you see fit. I promise you, after a week or two, you're just going to want to give people the boot and toss them out the door like Uncle Phil tossing Jazzy Jeff. Because it's really fun. Try it. There will probably be 0 people in your chat, but give it a shot. I promise you, it's incredibly enjoyable. It's like anything else in life. People love to abuse their power. That's exactly what I want to do in this moment. One final game for this slate, I might add. Now, I guess I should touch on the fact that Utah does exist in this game. Bryce Sensabaugh, 3,800, shooting guard, small forward. Yeah, Sure. 5,700 for Kyle Filipowski, power forward center. Yeah, I'm in. I don't mind getting Keontae George. I don't mind getting Lauri Markkanen if he's in, and if he's out, I like to get more of Utah. This late night hammer game is the place to be. Worst case scenario, you overload this game and swap off of it incrementally as you go through the locks as changes happen. Best case scenario, you just keep it because it looks great. I think it's the best game on the slate. It's the last thing we look at. There is one more game for today, however. I will mention it. Sacramento Kings at Portland. Kings are 8.5-point dogs. Schroeder, questionable. No Devin Carter. No Sabonis. No Zach LaVine. No Drew Eubanks. Very shorthanded Kings team. Looking at Russell Westbrook, Nick Clifford, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Reynaud. That is probably one of the worst things you're going to see. Look at all that red. Look how bad Russell Westbrook is. Jeesh. Just hardcore losing player right now. Portland Trail Blazers. Business as usual. We've got Klingon back. We're looking at Avdia, Sharp, Kamara, Jeremy Grant, Donovan Klingon. And they're in a great spot against the Kings team that can't seem to do a damn thing right. But not on the DraftKings slate. And here's the fun part. If you like this Portland-Sacramento game, you're in luck. They play again on Saturday. What a slate, folks. This is going to be a fun one. Look, we're going to be breaking down a ton of stuff. I'm going to be firing off bets, prize picks cards. I'll get my contenders posted. We'll certainly have updates throughout the day. I have no idea how much stuff I'm going to put out. I just know that I'm not really going to get out of this desk for the rest of the day. There's too much good basketball. Well, there's too much basketball to talk about. I don't want to call it good. There's 1.5 good games today. So either way. NFL Strategy Show is coming up next, folks. Download Tails using the link in the description. I'm out of stuff to say. Enjoy yourselves. I'll talk to you later.